My name is Robert E. Barr. I'm the president of the Banning Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to thank you all for coming to the 2021 State of the City for Banning. Thank you.
You know, my father always taught me if you're going to do any public speaking, you need to start out with a little humor to grab the audience's attention. So I thought, well, kind of the jokes I hear at work and with the guys that we deal with, probably not appropriate. So I thought, you know, Mayor Colleen Wallace, she's the mayor of the city. She's got a great sense of humor. So I asked her for a couple jokes. Now I've got a couple more I can't tell in public. And just before I'm unemployed tomorrow, that was a joke. That's not true. I never asked her. That wasn't accurate. But on a more serious note, first of all, I want to thank everybody here and thank you for the support that you give to the police department in Banning. It means a great deal to me and our officers and our staff. On a more sober note, this morning at about 12:24 a.m., one of our Banning police officers was shot at by a suspect during just a regular traffic stop here in our city. She tried to stop him, and when they got shot, a weapon came out, and the car was disabled from gunfire. The gunfire struck the Banning police vehicle and disabled it, and the suspect fled the scene. Banning police requested the assistance of all surrounding law enforcement agencies. Beaumont, thank you to the city of Beaumont, their officers responded. Riverside County Sheriff, I can never say enough about both Beaumont, but especially the Sheriff Bianco. And I think Chief Sean Talese from Beaumont would say the same thing, that our Sheriff Bianco supports us a great deal in a lot of things that we do, regardless of what's occurring. The officers attempted to stop the suspect, and he failed to yield. The suspect fled at a high rate of speed. The pursuit was initiated, joined by the Riverside County Sheriff's deputies as they pursued him into the Palm Springs area. The suspect shot several times at the officers pursuing them, just like they had done to the Banning police officers. Upon entering the Palm Springs area, the suspect exited, where he ultimately stopped his vehicle, and a deputy and officer involved shooting occurred. So that's under investigation. But, you know, I know we're having a great time today, and we should. But also, that's a great reminder. Just a few hours ago, while we were all asleep and in bed, enjoying our rest, one of our own was taking rifle fire to her vehicle. Now, she survives and no injuries, but it could have ended very differently. All right, so first up, and I would like my detective bureau to join me up here on the stage. So come on up. I know they're not used to this. But on August 30th, 2020, the Banning Police Department Detectives Bureau team was dispatched to a triple homicide in the Banning Cemetery. The following team members: Detective Acting Sergeant Derek Thaser, who is not with us today; Detective Linda Jimenez, if you'd raise your hand; Detective Brandon Smith; Detective Rene Munoz; and Detective Jack Loera. These teams' investigative skills were put to task as there were few leads and very uncooperative witnesses. They searched and gathered evidence left at the scene, conducted countless interviews, expeditiously processed evidential items, and served several search warrants. As a result, the detectives were able to identify those responsible for the murders of the 3 victims. Since the suspects had fled, the detectives obtained arrest warrants and worked with out-of-state law enforcement to locate them. Additionally, several accomplices were identified, located, and arrested for their part in helping the suspects evade capture. On September 4th, 2020, the detectives were notified that their suspects had been located and arrested in the state of Illinois. When the suspects were taken into custody, they had automatic firearms, high-capacity magazines, and a large amount of cash on their persons. That's because they work hard and their job pays them a lot. It's supposed to be funny. I'm just not as good as Scott Ward. The detectives went to Illinois, where they conducted interviews of the suspects, took possession of evidence, and initiated the extradition process. During the investigations, the detectives located evidence connecting one of the suspects to another murder that occurred in the city of Banning in 2018. They are to be commended for their countless hours, their dedication, and countless hours that they spend on the job taken away from their families. As a result of their excellent work, all suspects were extradited, formally charged, and are currently awaiting trial. Without their hard work and dedication, these ruthless killers might have evaded capture. What's not in this write-up that you may or may not know, when I first arrived here 2.5, almost 3 years ago, there was a big billboard on I-10 talking about an unsolved murder. Bradley Cunningham was murdered in our city. It was unsolved. We also had several other murders unsolved. In fact, Mayor Wallace, if she remembers this conversation had with me, is that there was a perception in the community that when African Americans were murdered, the cases they didn't spend as much time on them. That's the perception. I don't believe that's accurate, but that was the perception. Sometimes your perception is your reality, right? So one of the things we did, and it was because of these, and Derek Deja, and we'll talk about that in a minute, came to me and said, we need to increase the staffing in the Detective Bureau if we're going to get these things done. So we did. We solved four cold case murders. If you guys ever watch this, that is so difficult to do. Everybody know the show 48 Hours? Because if you don't catch the killer in the first 48 hours, what happens to the evidence and witnesses and everything else? It starts just dissipating. So these guys went back and solved 3 African American murders that were cold case, and then Bradley Cunningham's. So there's 4 that were solved. Our solvability rate, you guys probably don't know this because it's something you study, but I do. The national solvability rate for murders in America is 61%. For the last 4 years in Banning, we're at 93%. You guys, thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Thank you very much.
Officer Sieski, would you come up here, please? In the early morning hours of June 20th, 2020, officers of the Banning Police Department responded to a call of service for a reported stabbing in the area of West King Street in the city of Banning. Upon arriving at the scene, Officer Chris Sieski quickly located the victim, who was suffering from what appeared to be a life-threatening injury and was bleeding from his neck. Officer Sieski, utilizing his training and skills as an officer, remained calm under a stressful situation and applied pressure to the victim's injury. Officer Sieski was able to slow the victim's bleeding until emergency medical services arrived and transported the victim to a local trauma center where he underwent emergency surgery. It was discovered that the victim had been savagely stabbed several times in the throat, that he had to undergo 2 subsequent emergency surgeries since the incident. While the victim may suffer long-term effects as a result of this violent crime, Officer Sieski is to be commended for his immediate intervention that saved the victim's life. Stand up here for your... Thank you, Officer Sieski. Detective Linda Jimenez, would you step back up here, please? On April 10th, 2021, Banning Police Dispatch received a 911 call reporting a car crashed into a church on 4th Street in the city. When patrol officers arrived, they determined the vehicle had jumped a curb and drove through a chain-link fence before stopping on the church lawn. When the officers approached the car, they found a deceased male in the driver's seat and saw that he was suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. Detectives responded and began their investigation. They located a single bullet hole in the driver's side front window of the vehicle and blood splatter on the passenger side of the interior of the car. They were unable to locate or identify any witness to the shooting near the church. As the investigation progressed, Detective Linda Jimenez worked tirelessly with the victim's friends and family to determine who might have had a motive to this murder. Detective Jimenez expedited the forensic analysis of the victim's vehicle, which revealed a latent fingerprint belonging to an uninvolved third party. This person provided crucial information about the night of the homicide. With this information, Detective Jimenez located and interviewed 3 who were with the victim just prior to his death. These witnesses identified a suspect who was armed with a gun and was last seen getting into the victim's vehicle just moments before the 911 call was received. Detective Jimenez immediately wrote a search warrant for the suspect's house. With the help of the Riverside County Sheriff's Department SWAT team, the suspect was located, interviewed, and arrested for the murder of the victim. Detective Jimenez, driven by her respect for the victim and his family and her commitment to the citizens of the city of Banning, conducted and completed this outstanding murder investigation. Let them honor you. Thank you. Thank you, Detective Jimenez. One last person who could not be with us today is Acting Sergeant Derek Thaser, who is the head of the Detective Bureau. He was nominated for the 2021 Officer of the Year for the Inland Empire Bluebells. I'd like to talk about just a few of his accomplishments and leadership that he's done for the Banning Police Department. He was the initiating officer who talked to me about raising the staffing levels of the Detective Bureau so that we could get behind what we were trying to do, solving unsolved murders, making sure we solved crimes as they came to us. He's been employed with the City of Banning since 2003, has been assigned to patrol, the gang resistance education training, a school resource officer, the Detective Bureau, and is now the Acting Detective Bureau Sergeant. He's completed and received his bachelor's degree in criminal justice from California Coast University in 2020. Since Acting Sergeant Thaser has taken over the Detective Bureau, his team has solved 13 out of 14 murders, arrested 16 murderers, 13 attempted murderers. He and his team have made multiple arrests that include rape, burglary, vehicle homicide, crimes against persons. He also oversees the hiring process that we now do for new employees so that we're not losing good employees and have expedited the process without compromising its integrity, which includes monitoring the backgrounds of these new employees and oversees the Field Training Officer Program. We have the newest Field Training Officer Program that's been approved by Poste in California for Riverside County. He has helped make our department a first-rate department. So I won't take up any more of your time because I can stand up here and talk all day. Mayor Wallace knows that. She cuts me off plenty of times. But I want to tell each and every one of you here that this table is full of detectives that spend every amount of energy and time that they can make available to solving these crimes and doing this. That to have a 93% solvability rate is I challenge anyone to find another department that's got that. Now Washington, where I came from, might have because they had one murder in 20 years and we solved it. So there's 100% for 20 years. But I'm just telling you, and seeing one of my young officers who I hired, and that makes you feel a little responsible as chief, to get her car to be shot at with a firearm today, and very easily, had that bullet hit anywhere else besides where it hit, we would have lost an officer today. So I think about that, and I take that serious. It's fun to be up here and joke, but I'll just always remember, especially in today's climate, that regardless of what is being said, this is what they're out here doing. So thank you for your time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our conclusion of the Banning State of the City Address and Luncheon. And would you please give a warm welcome to your mayor, Colleen Wallace.
Thank you all for being here today. I'm Mayor I might not even need this because I got a big mouth. I'm Mayor Colleen Wallace, and it's my honor and privilege to present the 2021 State of the City Address. Without question, the past year has been filled with challenges, but Banning has been a busy community, and our city staff has been hard at work providing services and keeping projects moving forward. So I want to congratulate the police and our city staff. I love our city staff. Oh my God. Did you hear that? In 2020, Banning was the fastest growing city in California with a population over 30,000. 2020 was just the beginning of the growth we will experience when other housing developments start construction. including Rancho San Antonio, Loma Linda Banning Bench, Little Europe, Vista Serena, Banning Ranch, Lauren Lane, Milestones, and others. We are excited about the growth and development happening in our community and look forward to the new jobs and businesses that will be generated. I'd like to share with you some of the highlights from the past year. Our physical service department consists of 3 divisions: finance, purchasing, and utility billing. Physical Service Director Suzanne Cook, she leads the department. The department controls the money coming in and out of the city as physically responsible and transparent as possible. The mission of the department is to control the money coming in and out of the city as physically responsible and transparent as possible. 2 platforms that have been implemented during the past year to improve our objectives of being physically responsible and transparent are the priority-based budgeting and the OpenGov Transparency Portal. Currently, the OpenGov portal is available to anyone to access through the city website. It is updated daily and the data is in real time. The priority-based budgeting process is intended to provide accessible and actionable data to support decision-making and to communicate how the city's resource allocation aligns with community priorities. In 2020, the city completed a cost allocation plan to comply with Proposition 218 as it relates to fees charged by the city's general fund to utility funds. Each year, the cost allocation plan is updated to remain compliant. We are very excited about our Invoice Cloud utility billing platform that would allow our utility customers improved flexibility for utility bill payments and communication on a secure platform. I am pleased to announce that the purchasing division of the Physical Service Department has earned the 2021 Achievement of Excellence in Procurement. This is the 4th consecutive year the division has received the award. The City of Banning Electric Utility, led by Director Tom Miller, has done a great job not only keeping the lights on in Banning, but doing so with renewable energy at rates that are among the lowest in California. Banning Electric Utility staff have pulled approximately 35 miles of underground wire to serve Banning's new neighborhoods in the Atwell community. Over 370 homes and recreation centers have been energized during the past year. We anticipate the Atwell project will build about 300 homes annually for the next several years. As of January 1st, 2022, the City of Banning Electric Utility energy portfolio will consist of over 80% renewable sources, making Banning a leader in green energy. In addition to providing low-cost renewable energy to our customers, we are also taking steps to improve the reliability of our electric service. One of the important projects that will improve reliability and responsiveness is the automation of our substations to give Banning Electric Utility employees a live and interactive platform that will show outages, circuit interruptions, and supervisory controls to provide customers safe and reliable power. Speaking of substations, Banning Electric has moved the system from 4 kV to 12 kV, improving reliability and supporting growth. 2 new substations are being built to replace the Aloha and Airport substations. The new Ivy substation is located on South Hathaway near Charles Street, and the new Stagecoach substation is located on North Hathaway near Hoffer Street. And Hoffer is spelled wrong. It's Hoffer. In 2020, through the public benefits program called CORE, 200 trees were given away to Banning residents. 500 backpacks were provided to local students, and financial assistance was provided with to hundreds of customers in need. We are also proud of the 2020 American Public Power Association, APPA, Excellence in Public Power Communications Award, received by Banning Electric Utility, including Audience Choice Award Video, Award of Excellence Video, and Award of Merit Print Digital category. Can I have some water? I need some water. The Information Technology Division of Electric Utility has made great strides during the past fiscal year by improving cybersecurity awareness and prevention. Excuse me, guys. You know, this is a lot of talking. You got to do your mouth get dry.
You got it.
Thank you. Improving cyber security awareness and prevention, upgrading the council chamber audio video, implementing a cloud-based document management solution, implementing a new information technology service desk and project management solution, upgrading the city's internet bandwidth, and upgrading computer equipment throughout the organization. Public Works Director Arturo Vela, woo! Has a broad range of responsibilities, including street maintenance, airport operations and management, transit services, capital projects, water and wastewater utilities. I just have to say something about Art. Art is so nice. Him and Doug are just too doggone nice. But anyway, he lets me call him and bug him all the time about, you know, people calling me about their water or what's going on, and he's so helpful. I just love Art. Thank you, Art. The Sun Lakes Boulevard extension is critically needed to improve traffic circulation and emergency response capabilities on the Interstate 10 corridor and surrounding areas. The project is located in the city of Banning, just south of the I-10 freeway, and proposes to complete a gap closure resulting in continuous parallel route from SR 79 in the city of Beaumont to the easterly city limits in Banning. Once the extension is constructed, emergency vehicle access and response times will improve. Connectively to future regional job centers will be established. A new I-10 bypass segment will be created, and traffic circulation will improve dramatically for the many residents, commuters and visitors too. In addition to the benefits listed on this slide, the $3.7 million Hathaway-Ramsey project will also construct improvements that we hope will entice development of lots fronting the project, which are mostly vacant. Grant funding received by the Public Works Department will assist with a few capital improvements projects, including the Highway Safety Improvement Program grant of $626,500 was awarded to the city for construction to enhance safety at several existing uncontrolled crosswalks. Also to construct a left turn pocket and sidewalk improvement at Omar and Ramsey. Vehicles currently stack up in the through lane when waiting to turn left onto Omar. The downtown revitalization complete street grant of $298,000 will provide a blueprint for economic development in the automatic meter reading, automatic metering infraction will provide for efficient and accurate collections of water consumption and status data. The data will be available to customers via Drop Counter, a mobile app. Drop Counter also allows city staff to connect with customers more efficiently, reduce customer service calls, automate alerts such as potential water leaks on the customer side, and meet customer expectations and increase satisfaction. Adam Rush, woo! Where's Adam? Woo woo! Served as the Community Development Director with responsibilities for land use as well as building safety. The department will manage the growth and development coming to Banning, which includes 10,000 new homes, over 250 acres of commercial, and millions of square feet of industrial space. Approximately 900 permits issued and over 300 homes constructed with 150 new families and growing every day. One of Banning's 3 retail cannabis dispensaries permitted under the 2019 program, Cultural Cannabis offers a wide selection of products and is producing needed city revenue. The first retail cannabis dispensary to open in the city of Banning, Harvest contributes to the city's place in the growing cannabis industry. In addition to the cannabis dispensary, Banning is also welcoming cannabis cultivation, distribution, manufacturing, and testing. As of today, 5 cultivation operations have been approved and will open during 2022, providing jobs and tax revenue to the local economy. A $1 million industrial operation north of Banning Airport, which is Banning Distribution, will provide well-paying jobs and critical property tax revenue to the city. Site grading is currently underway and construction of the building will begin in 2022. We expect an announcement soon as a tenant who will occupy the space and provide several hundred new jobs. Banning is excited to welcome our first Arby's restaurant. I heard somebody clapping for Arby's, huh? The city's fast track program permitted this project in 34 days from application to approval. Grand opening is tentatively scheduled for March 2022. The northeast corner of South 8th Street and Lincoln Street is a new home of SoCal West Coast Electric and is a major improvement to the appearance of the area along the I-10 corridor. The site was formerly used as a recycling center. O'Reilly's Auto Parts is nearing completion of one of the newest retail projects in the city. Their new Banning store is located at 2929 West Ramsey Street. Site work has started on the 90,000 square foot Estes Express Lines terminal on Barbour Street near Banning Municipal Airport. Approximately 150 new jobs will be created when the facility is operational in 2022. Parks and Recreation Director Ralph Wright, woo! is responsible for recreation programs as well as maintenance and operation of all park facilities. Parks and Recreation staff use their collective creativity to deliver recreation programs and services during the past 18 months by creating a virtual recreation center, drive-through programming, and outdoor programming. The Senior Center closed in March 2020 in response to COVID, but we took advantage of the time by completing ADA improvements to better serve our senior clients. The Senior Center will reopen in November. Senior Center staff continue to provide services to seniors through the Senior Meal Program, which grew from an average of 60 daily meals to 100 meals distributed. Morning greeters made up to 300 calls per month to seniors to connect them with resources and provide companionship. And in addition, a monthly happiness campaign was established to provide social interaction with seniors while the center was closed. Recreation staff also provide youth and adult programs and services, including day camps, basketball, flag football, soccer, and Smart Start. Recreation classes offered include ballet, karate, arts, special needs, and Zumba. Finally, the recreation staff provides seasonal special events, which is the 5K runs, and support for Stagecoach Day and the Playhouse Bowl evening concert series. Our 58 acres of developed parkland in 7 different parks is maintained by 2 full-time employees and a landscape maintenance contract. We are especially pleased with the new playground installed at Richard Sanchez Park and a new playground safety material to replace damaged amenities in all playgrounds. We're looking forward to improving our existing parks and developing Smith Creek Park. One of the major park improvements, expansion of Lions Park, is contingent upon funding from the Proposition 68 grant, which is expected to be announced before the end of 2021. In addition, Phase 1 of the Lions Park's ball field lighting replacement is anticipated with state per capita grant funds. Chief Matthew Hamner. Woo! and I just can't say enough about him. Yeah, he talks too much and I have to like cut him off, okay? Chief Matthew Hamner has led the Banning Police Department since early 2019. The Banning Police Department is responsible for law enforcement, animal control, code enforcement, and emergency dispatch services. The department also operates an explorer unit, mounted unit, officer-involved shooting investigations, fleet, and 24-hour range training. And if you guys see me sweating, that's because I have hot flashes and it's hot up here. Through the hard work of council member Cal Penegre, woo! Community volunteers and numerous donors, the city of Banning was able to repair and I can't say the word, the animal shelter, a project that was thought to be too expensive to complete. We are extremely pleased to have R, which is Animal Rescue, providing shelter, operations, and management services, making it much easier for pet owners to reunite with their lost pets. With adequate staffing in the Detective Bureau, Banning Police Department has solved 13 murder cases, including 3 cold case murders, and this is the 93% solved murder rate compared to a national average of 61%. In 2019, the department faced critical staffing issues with vacant positions and officers out of injured status. Chief Hamner and his team worked very hard to recruit and hire qualified candidates to fill the vacant positions. Force multiples are created through collaboration. Banning Police has been partnered with Riverside County Sheriff and other law enforcement agencies to enhance law enforcement services, including the Riverside Auto Theft Indication Detail, which is called RAID, Post-Release Accountability and Compliance Team, which is PAC, Gang Task Force, Gang Impact Team, School Resource Officers, and Community Behavioral Assessment Team. The department has updated the Field Training Officer, FTO manual, and the Banning Police Department Policy Manual. These important manuals provide the direction and training to make sure Banning Police Officers are on the leading edge of law enforcement service delivery. Let's take a sneak peek into 2022 of some of the projects we expect to begin construction. Grandave Studios at Banning is proposed $300 million, 17 soundstage film production studio that will bring up to 8,000 new jobs to Banning. The project is planned to be built in the Banning Municipal Airport property and will allow the airport to continue operating. Construction could start as early as mid-2022. And yes, I told the owner that I want to be an actress. Banning Pointe is a 7-acre commercial, 30-acre business warehouse, 10-acre professional office project on 47 acres east of Sun Lakes Village Shopping Center between Sun Lakes Boulevard and I-10. The first phase of this project is 640,000 square feet warehouse, and construction is anticipated to begin in early 2022. And can I just say something? You know, people complain about why are you building this here and there? But people have to understand there are a lot of kids that are still here and kids that graduated college that want to come back and invest in our city. And, you know, I'm just keeping it real. I always keep it real. We'll be dead and gone. Our youngsters are our future. Oh, he said no, he ain't, but yeah, okay. But we have to think about the kids. You know, I advocate for the youth. And my thing is, you have to think about kids want to come back to Banning, and they want to invest. They want to be entrepreneurs here. So, you know, Banning, I tell people, Banning, we're in between a mountain, so we can't have a lot. But the things that we can have to start this city to be where it was when I was a little kid, we can do it. And people are not going to like what you do, but oh well, we have to do what we have to do. Okay, located south of Interstate 10 between Highland Home Road and Sunset Avenue from the Union Pacific Railroad south of Bobcat Road, the 533-acre Sunset Crossroad brings considerably industrial businesses opportunity along with vibrant retail, recreation and entertainment district to the city of Banning. The 50-acre commercial district stretches along the northeast portion of the site, creating 268,400 square feet of leisure, retail, and entertainment uses. Up to 5 million square feet of industrial uses will occupy approximately 400 acres, with the remaining 55 areas designated as open space. It has been a pleasure serving as your representative on the Banning City Council during the past 3 years, and a true honor to serve as your mayor. Woo! During the past year. Thank you to the Banning Chamber of Commerce for hosting this 2021 State of the City Luncheon, as well as the programs and services provided by the Chamber. We are fortunate to have such a strong partnership between the Chamber and the city. In closing, I want to extend my gratitude and thank each of you for attending today's luncheon.